الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. Respected teachers, brothers, sisters and children, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakumullah khairan for joining our Hifdh course training. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow me to deliver it to the best of my ability. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. I will try and keep it short and simple. We do intend to wrap everything up by 9 p.m. inshallah. Before we begin, I just wanted to apologize to all the brothers, as I did mention to you that we will be doing our training mid-March. However, we did get slightly delayed. Reason is Allah planned differently. Just last Saturday, less than a week ago, we had a lot of sisters who wanted a sisters Hifdh course as well. So we got slightly delayed with that. We wanted to do brothers and sisters training together. Hence why we have planned this training slightly late. Now, throughout this training, if you have any questions, do ask on the chat option. Okay, we will not obviously allow anyone to talk via audio, as this will be recorded for those who couldn't attend the training live. They will watch you, inshallah, the recording. If I do go fast at any time, do forgive me. I do apologize. You can, inshallah, catch up in the recording. I'll start off by introducing myself. So I will be the course instructor today. I am Ustad Junaid. I will be running the Hifdh course for the brothers. Myself and all our teachers in the Hifdh course, we are all qualified Hifdh teachers. We have graduated in reputable institutes in and around England. Now, if you have any questions, like I said, you ask throughout the session. We will have a Q&A session right at the end. If you have any questions for the end, inshallah. Now, the course start date is Monday, 16th of May, 2022, just after Eid, inshallah, 1 week after Eid. Classes will run from Monday to Friday. I know some brothers and sisters can only commit 3 or 4 days a week, but generally our classes will run 5 days a week. The timing and slots slightly different for everyone. Whichever timing or slot you have registered for, that will be your timing and slot. We will give Zoom details, and you will be added to a WhatsApp group with your teachers very soon, inshallah, in Ramadan. The reason why we're doing our lessons early in the morning, as you know, the brain is fresh in the morning. We've just woken up from sleep. Rather than doing it after everyone has come back from work, or after everyone has come back from university or school, it's much more easier to do it early in the morning. Obviously, your brain is fresh, easier to memorize. And obviously, another reason is we can do it before we start our commitments, our work, and anything we have to do throughout the day. Now, do take some notes. Inshallah, it will be beneficial. You can take some notes on your laptop, iPad, or you can jot down with a pen. Whatever we go through, inshallah, we're mainly going to focus on our syllabus. But before we start our syllabus, we'll go over what is Hifdh and some virtues of a Hafidh, a Hafidha. Now, the first slide, what is Hifdh? Okay. Now, usually people, what they tend to do is they think that Hifdh means to memorize. The word Hifdh, it means to memorize. However, in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He uses the word Hifdh as in to protect. Now, there are many examples in the Quran. I'll take one example. In Surah Mu'minun, Allah says, وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ عَلَىٰ صَلَوَاتِهِمْ يُحَافِظُونَ. Allah speaks about those believers who protect and safeguard the salah. So when we're doing Hifdh, we're actually protecting the Quran. We are protectors of the Quran. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the main protector. He is Al-Hafidh. He is the ultimate protector, the original protector. But however, in this world, Allah, He handpicks special people, and He makes us like special agents of the Quran. We protect the Quran. Okay? We protect the Quran in our hearts, in our minds. We become like walking and talking Quran. In another verse in Surah, Allah says, in Surah Hijr, Allah says, إِنَّا نَحْنُ نَزَّلْنَا الذِّكْرَ وَإِنَّا لَهُ لَحَافِظُونَ. It says that we have sent down the dhikr. In here, Allah refers to dhikr as the Quran. if you see on this slide, it says, "Inna nahnu nazzalna dhikra wa inna lahu lahafidhun." We have set down the dhikr. Allah refers to the dhikr as the Quran, and we are there to protect it. Okay, so we're included in the protection. Allah is protecting it, as Allah is the ultimate protector. Allah is Al-Hafidh, and with Allah, those Hufadh who have memorized the Quran, we are also protectors. We're preserving the Quran. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from the people of the Quran, the Ahlul Quran. Now, we know the existence of Islam, it depends on the protection and the teaching of the Quran. Hence why we are protectors. Okay, we're preserving the Quran, the translation of the Quran, the meaning of the Quran, the tafsir of the Quran. Now, what are the virtues of a Hafidh and a Hafidha? Okay, someone who memorizes the Quran, what are the virtues? First one, the Prophet ﷺ said, "خَيْرُكُمْ مَنْ تَعَلَّمَ الْقُرْآنَ وَعَلَّمَ." Verily, the most virtuous of you is the one who learns the Quran and teaches it. This is the first hadith, and this is one of the most important hadith when it comes to memorizing the Quran. But the Prophet ﷺ says that the best of people are those who learn the Quran and they teach it. So how can we fit into this hadith? The Prophet ﷺ has said that the best of people, if you want to be part of this hadith, you have to do two things. The first thing is learn, memorize, understand the Quran, and the second part is to teach it. So while you're doing this Hifdh course, inshallah, you'll be completing half the hadith. Okay? After you complete your Hifdh, inshallah, everyone attending this course, when you do complete your Hifdh, then you can do the second part of the hadith and you can go on to teach it. And then inshallah, you'll be amongst those people who are the best of people, just like our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned. The second hadith, the Prophet said, "It will be said to the one who memorized the Quran, recite and ascend as you recited in the world. Verily, your rank abode in Jannah is determined by the last verse you recite." And we know the Quran has over 6,000 verses. For every verse you will recite, you will raise one rank. So if there's people who know 100 verses, you'll go up by 100 verses, by 100 ranks. Those who know the full Quran, yes, you'll be at the highest rank of Jannah. Now, for those who make intention to memorize the Quran, and through this journey, you leave this temporary world, okay? But you had the intention to complete your Hifdh, you will be raised on the Day of Judgment as a Hafidh, as a Hafidha. So just make firm intention from today onwards that inshallah, I will try my best, okay? Nothing will come in the way. Even if it takes me 10 years or 15 years or 5 years, I will try my best to complete it. If you make this firm intention and you try your best every single day, even if you pass away and you leave this temporary world in between, whilst doing this course or whilst memorizing the Quran, you'll be raised on the Day of Judgment as a Hafidh or Hafidha. The third bullet point, you can intercede for 10 family members. This is another virtue, that if there's 10 family members or 10 friends or any 10 people who are destined for Jahannam, you can intercede for them as long as you are a true Hafidh. You can't just be a Hafidh by name. Okay, you have to be a Hafidh by action as well. You have to be an embodiment of the Quran. Okay, when our mother Aisha radiallahu anha was asked, "Can you speak about the manners of the Prophet ﷺ?" Okay, she said he is like a walking and talking Quran. His akhlaq, his manners are the Quran. Whatever the Quran says, he does. Whatever the Quran says not to do, he will not do. So we have to remember this. We can only intercede for 10 people who are destined for Jahannam if we are true Hafidh. Okay, we have to be an embodiment of the Quran. We have to act by the Quran, live by the Quran. The fourth bullet point, parents will be given crowns which will outshine the sun on the Day of Judgment. The Prophet ﷺ said that the parents of whoever recited the Quran and acted upon it, okay, what was in it, will be made to wear a crown whose light is better than the light of the sun on the Day of Judgment. So what about the person who acted upon it? Imagine if a Hafidh's parents is getting that. If your parents are getting a crown and these crowns are shining the sun on the Day of Judgment, imagine what you will get. And we all know right now the sun is a million miles away from our head. On the Day of Judgment, it will be right on top of our heads. So imagine what Allah will give a Hafidh and a Hafidha if Allah gives your parents such amazing crowns. The next bullet point is you will be in the company of the noble and righteous angels. Okay, this is a hadith as well, that the person who recites the Quran and masters it by heart will be in the company of the noble angels. And the last bullet point before we move on to the next slide is intercession on the Day of Judgment. the Quran will intercede for its reader on the Day of Judgment. In a hadith, the Prophet ﷺ says that two things can intercede for people on the Day of Judgment. Two things will be given a physical appearance on the Day of Judgment. One is the Quran and one is fasting. The fasting will come to Allah and say, "Oh Allah, this person, yes, because of me, this person didn't eat or drink through the day. Okay, accept my intercession," and Allah will accept fasting intercession. And the Quran will do the same. "Oh Allah, because of me, this person never slept at night. He recited me throughout the day, throughout the evening, throughout the night. So Allah accept my intercession," and Allah will accept the intercession of the Quran. So inshallah, we should remember these virtues, okay, of becoming a Hafidh and Hafidha. Remember these, because these will motivate you throughout. Sometimes it happens as human beings, we lose the motivation throughout our Hifdh journey. Okay, we lose the drive, we lose the motivation. But remember these hadith, okay? Remember that if you become a Hafidh, you can become the best of people, okay? And the Jannah will be the best of Jannahs. You can intercede for 10 people, your parents will be given crowns, you'll be in the company of righteous angels, and the Quran will intercede for you on the Day of Judgment. Moving on to the next slide, a very important slide now. Which Quran will we be using in our course? We do recommend students to use the 15-line print. Doesn't matter which print you use, but the line should be 15 lines, okay? If you want to use the Uthmani print, or a India Pakistani print, or a Saudi Arabian print, we don't mind, as long as it's 15 lines. We prefer 15 lines. Now, I will exactly go over why 15 lines. If you look at the first point, it says 13 lines versus 15 lines. So when I memorized the Quran, I had to memorize on a 15-line Quran as well. I was comfortable in reciting the 13-line Quran, but once I started the institute I was memorizing in, it told me to move on to a 15-line Quran. Now, if you look at the two pictures on the screen, the picture on the right-hand side is a 15-line Quran, and the picture on the left-hand side is a 13-line Quran. Why have I put these pictures on the screen? Now, imagine we were going to do a survey, a test, that two students, student A will memorize from a 15-line Quran, student A, and student B will memorize from a 13-line Quran. Yeah, student A is memorizing from a 15-line Quran, student B is memorizing from a 13-line Quran. And I've told both students to give one side every single day. Now, if they give one side every single day, roughly in about 611 days, student A, the 15-line Quran student, will finish. Because if you look at the right-hand side, 611 is the last side of the Quran on a 15-line Quran. You see Surah Nas and Surah Falaq. And when the 15-line Quran student A finishes memorizing the Quran, student B will only be on Surah Yasin, which is the end of just 22. So you might think there's only 2 lines difference. On a 15-line Quran, there's only 2 lines difference, but no, these 2 lines add up to 8 adzā. Now, when a 15-line Quran student gives one side every single day, he'll finish, or she will finish the Quran 8 adzā before the one who does it in 13-line Quran. So hence why we do recommend a 15-line Quran. You have to just make the mindset understand. You might think, oh, 15 line and 13-line, there's not much of a difference. It's 2 lines, right? But no, a 15-line Quran, one page has much more words in it. And every single page on a 15-line Quran, it ends with a verse. So if you want to give one side, you can perfectly give exactly one side. On a 13-line Quran, you can't do that. On a 13-line Quran, the sides don't end with a verse. So you can't give a complete page every day or complete 2 pages. On a 15-line Quran, you can do that. So 15-line Qurans are much more suitable for Hifdh. So we do recommend that, and we want all our students to get that. If you are struggling to find a copy, do let us know, inshallah. We'll try to sort something out for you. Now, whichever Quran you get, whichever Quran you start your Hifdh journey with, stick to that one Quran throughout, okay? And make sure that the paper quality is good, okay? Make sure the paper quality is good, because you will be doing most of the marking. As we're doing the lessons online, teachers can't mark mistakes, teachers can't mark the dates when you do your sabaq or your revision or whatever you do. You have to mark it yourself. We will speak about marking later on, inshallah. So get something that you can write with a pencil. There's some Qurans that the pages, it's like laminated paper. It's very difficult to write on with a pencil. When you do mark mistakes in the Quran, you will do it with a pencil, and when you put dates on, you'll do it with a pencil. Hence why get good quality paper, something you can write with a pencil with. If anyone has any questions until here, you can ask questions, or we can move on to the next slide. So remember that, try to purchase a 15-line Quran. You have the full Ramadan to purchase a 15-line Quran. You can pick them up from any Islamic shop, inshallah. Any questions before we move on to the next slide? That's fine, inshallah. We will go over our syllabus very soon now, inshallah. Now, our Hifdh syllabus. Now, this is the Hifdh syllabus we'll be using, okay? One more point before we move on to our syllabus is that in this course, we will not be obviously going over the tajweed rules. However, as every week, weekly, we will be doing free tajweed lessons in the evening, once a week, 1 hour a week. You'll have a tajweed lesson, and roughly within about 16 to 20 weeks, you should complete your tajweed lessons with us. All the extra lessons we give will be completely free. Okay, so those students who have enrolled for his course, all our other lessons will be completely free. Our tajweed lessons, we plan to do many other courses throughout the year, it will be completely free. But remember that tajweed is very, very important. Okay? We can't compromise tajweed. Okay, tajweed comes before hifdh. It's fardh, ayn. Okay, it's compulsory to know tajweed, and it's not compulsory to memorize the Quran. Okay, memorizing the Quran is not compulsory. It's recommended, but it's not compulsory. But knowing tajweed for each and every single person is compulsory. We have to know tajweed. So always put tajweed first, then hifdh. Okay, and Allah says in Surah Muzammil, وَرَتِّلِ الْقُرْآنَ تَرْتِيلًا. Okay, Allah says that first, He says to the Prophet that and recite the Quran in a measured recitation with tajweed. So we will be doing tajweed lessons once a week, inshallah. So don't worry about that. And I had one more point to mention as well. With the brothers, I've had meetings with the brothers. I've spoken to you. I did listen to your recitation, and I know exactly which level you're on. Sisters, inshallah, as we've only planned to start the sisters course just last week, teachers will contact you, inshallah, and they will hold one-to-one sessions with you before the course starts. They will get to know you better, how much you've memorized, how your recitation is, if you have any questions. So we will arrange these sessions with the ustadhas very soon, inshallah, sometime mid-Ramadan, inshallah. Our syllabus, now this syllabus we're using is that we do plan for students to finish within 4 years, and the 5th year being a revision year. The syllabus is just a layout. Okay, it's not to scale. So it doesn't mean that you have to finish in 4 years. Some students can finish in 1 year. Some students can finish in 2 years, or 3 years, or 10 years, or 5 years, 15 years. There's no rush. Okay, it's just a layout, just a syllabus there for you to follow. I remember, okay, people have different abilities. I just say a story to you. You know the famous Imam Abu Hanifa. Imam Abu Hanifa, famous jurist. He's the famous faqih. He has his own madhab. He, in his lessons, if you want to attend his lessons, you will have to be a Hafidh to attend his lessons. Okay, so he came around 70 years after the demise of our Prophet ﷺ. Now, a little boy came to his sessions, into his halaqas, into his classes. His name was Muhammad. He famously became known as Imam Muhammad later on. So little Muhammad, he wanted to attend Imam Abu Hanifa's lessons, halaqas. Imam Abu Hanifa said, "Oh Muhammad, you have to memorize the Quran and come back. Okay, I only take Hafidh in my halaqas." 1 week later, Muhammad came back, and Imam Abu Hanifa said to him, "Oh Muhammad, I told you last week to memorize the full Quran and come back." And Imam Muhammad said, "I have memorized the Quran in 1 week." So it's possible for some people to do it in 1 month, in 10 months. Okay, so this syllabus, don't let it scare you that I have to finish in 4 years. I can't do that. Or don't think that, oh, it's too long, I can do it in 1 year. It doesn't matter. Okay, we just put a layout there. Whoever is struggling, they can take slightly longer. Whoever is capable, you can do it much quicker. I'm just going to go over the syllabus in detail. Again, if you have any questions after any slide, do feel free to ask on the chat option. Now, what will we be doing in our first year? In the first year, we plan for students to memorize 3.5 to 7.5 𝙤𝙧. 𝙤𝙧 is the plural of juz. Juz is translated in some languages, we call it para, or one part of the Quran. The Quran has 30 parts. The Quran has 30 paras or 30 𝙤𝙧. 𝙤𝙧 is basically the Arabic plural word of juz. Now you can see that I've made it easy that what you have to do every single month. So in the first 2 months, so you're going to start the course in mid-May. So I haven't included May. In June and July, the target is for you to learn how to read Juz 1 looking inside, okay, and then memorize Juz 1. Okay. Now, when I say Juz 1, we do not plan to start from Juz Alif Lam Mim. We plan to do the Quran from Juz 30 and work our way to juz 1. Like I memorized the Quran. My first juz was juz 30, then I did 29, then 28. So the last surah I memorized was Surah Baqarah. And there are many positives to that. Now, if anyone wants to do it any other way, we don't mind. But if you start from Surah Baqarah, because Surah Baqarah is 2.5 ajza long, you can get demotivated thinking that I've been stuck on this surah for so long. And Surah Baqarah has longer verses, so it's very difficult to memorize the surah. However, if it's your last surah to memorize, you can memorize it very quick. Like Alhamdulillah, I'm not boasting, but I memorized Surah Baqarah, I think it was within 5 days, because it was my last surah. I wanted to finish quickly so I can obviously I can graduate as a Hafidh. So as it was my last surah, I had that motivation and drive. It's my last surah, I have to be as quick as possible. If it was my first surah, I can guarantee it would have taken me at least 5 to 6 months. So I started from juz 30. So we do plan our students to start from juz 30 and work the way to juz 1. However, if teachers feel like the student is good enough for longer verses, then teachers will tell you that you can move on to juz 1 after maybe doing the last 3 or 4 ajza. Teachers will be able to give you a better feedback once they start listening to you, inshallah. Now, so we've put to scale that every 2 months, roughly, you should try to do at least 1 juz. Now, if you look at the 3 different colors on the bottom of each section, there's a green, there's orange, and there's red. It's just like the traffic light system. Green are those students that we will push that are high achieving students. Orange are those students that are average students, and red are those students who are struggling, who are finding it difficult to get some time, okay, who are finding it difficult, we don't have much time, we have other commitments, yes, and they're sticking to the red side. Now, we plan to keep our students in one of these zones, in the red zone, in the orange zone, or in the green zone. Now, if you look at the bottom of the slide, it says those students who are on the green zone, if you give 10 lines per lesson, at the end of the year, you know 7.5 parts of the Quran. That's on a 15-line Quran. If you're an average student, you can't give too much. You can give 7.5 lines a day, which is half a page. Then end of the year, in the end of the first year, you know 5 parts of the Quran. And those students who are struggling with time or who are struggling to memorize, don't worry. If you give 5 lines every lesson, at the end of the year, you'll know about 3.5 parts of the Quran. Did everyone understand that? So we plan to put our students into one of these categories, either in the green category, orange, or red category. Now you can go over the green category. You can end up giving 15 lines a day. We don't mind. But these are there as it's like a syllabus for you to easily follow, so you can keep track of how much you're memorizing. Now, those who are struggling, if you can't give 5 lines and you give 2 lines, again, we don't mind. Okay, these zones have been there just to make it easy, so you know exactly. If you give 5 lines a day, which is not too much, you know 3.5 ajza at the end of the year. If you give 7.5 lines a day on a 15-line Quran, you know 5 ajza at the end of the year. And those who give 10 lines will know at least 7.5 ajza, which is a quarter of the Quran at the end of the year. That's the first year. First year, we try to take it slightly easy. Second year, slightly increases. Before we move on to the second year, anyone have any questions or anything you didn't understand? Has it been clear? Any questions? If it's clear, you can give some thumbs up, please, so I know everyone's with me. I don't want to go too fast that you fall behind and you don't understand what's going on. It's clear, yes? We can move on. This is just a template, like I said. Everyone's Hifdh journey is different. Okay, everyone's Hifdh journey is different. It could be that that you can finish within the first year. It could be that some students might put their foot down and try their best, and within the first year they finished it. This is just not to scale, it's just a template. So in the first year, we plan for students to be around 3.5 to 7.5, around that category. In the second year, we slightly increase it to 5 to 10 ajza. So those high achieving students should do at least 10 ajza. So those that were doing, the high achieving students in the first year were doing 10 lines, they will be doing 15 lines this year. Okay, and those who are doing 7.5 lines in the first year, they'll be doing 10 lines in the second year. Those who are doing 5 lines in the first year will be doing 7.5 lines in the second year. Again, if you look at the bottom, you get an understanding that if you give 15 lines, you do 10 ajza in the full year. So those high achieving students will know 17.5 now. 7.5 from the last year, and from the first year, and 10 from this year, that's 17.5. Those who are in the orange zone, last year they memorized 5 parts of the Quran. This year they'll memorize 7.5, so they'll know 12.5 ajza. And those who are in the red category, in the red zone, last year they memorized, in the first year they memorized 3.5. So if this year they memorize 5, they'll know 8.5 ajza. Yeah. Again, I put all the months, the years down for you. I'll give you the presentation, inshallah, so you can go over the presentation in your own time. Anytime you have any questions, you feel free to ask now or in the chat option in the WhatsApp group. Whenever, feel free to. We are more than happy to help. In the third year, we slightly take it a bit more forward. The students in the high category, they will do 15 and complete the Quran, inshallah. And those in the orange category, they will do 10 ajza, so they know 22.5. And those in the red category, they will do 7.5 in the third year, and they will know 16. Okay, and in the fourth year, inshallah, all our students should finish. Okay, by the fourth year, all our students should finish the completion of the Quran. Any questions? Do you want me to explain any points again? Is there anything that's not clear to anyone? I can repeat it again, inshallah. Again, this is not to scale. This is just a template for us to follow. Okay, those who are struggling can do slightly less. Those who are high achieving can do more. Now, when you do finish the Quran memorization with us, may Allah make it easy for each and every member who has joined today's session and those who will join. May Allah make it easy for them to complete this journey, this beautiful journey. We will take you to our revision program. Now, whenever you finish your Quran, you will do a revision program with us. This is a must with the course. Okay, if you finish the Quran, the Hifdh course with us, you have to take this revision program. In the revision year, in the full year, we plan to make you complete the Quran 8 times with us. You have to recite the full Quran to the teacher 8 times. Okay, in the duration of 11 months. Okay, we'll go into detail with that. So in the first 2 months, you can give 1 juz a day in halves, and in the second 2 months, you'll give 1 juz in one go. Like that, Usada or Ustad will break it down for you. Because we have a goal, inshallah, that all our students, when you complete your Hifdh, whether your brother or sister, we plan that you will join the Quran revision project. So recently, last month, we had a Quran revision project. It was arranged by one of my close friends. It took place in East London Masjid in London, East London Masjid, where roughly 150 Hufad came down, or those who are memorizing the Quran. There were roughly 60 teachers. Some students recited the full Quran. There was one student who recited the full Quran in less than 6 hours without a single mistake. There were some students who recited 20 ajza. Some students recited 15 ajza. So this is our plan. Our goal is that our students from this Khayr Academy's Hifdh class, they know the Quran like Surah Fatiha. So easy that you can, in one sitting, you can recite the full Quran. So we will, inshallah, yearly have a much. So imagine in your second year, you know 15 ajza. We will advise you to sign up for your local Quran revision project. Quran revision project, I didn't mention, is run by a close friend. They only did one so far in London, and they do plan to do one in Leicester, I believe, very soon. And they will start one in every city or town. Whichever town or city you're from, do let me know when time comes, and I will get you registered through them, inshallah. That's our plan, that we want everyone to know the Quran so strong that you'll be ready to recite it whenever and wherever you are. Now, syllabus is completed. Has anyone got any questions before we move on to the next part? Feel free to ask any questions on the chat option at any times. Okay, we will have a question and answer session towards the end of the training. So this was our syllabus. Okay, if you do want to go over it again, recordings will be sent to you of this training by tomorrow evening, inshallah. Now we will come back to this slide very soon, the power of 7. Right now we're going to move on to the next slide, inshallah. This is a very important slide. So I do advise brothers and sisters to start making some notes from here, because you will need to start to get familiarized with such words now. Okay, that will help you in your Hifdh journey. Now, the 3 things you will be reading to your teachers every single day. Number 1 is sabaq. Sabaq is what you memorize new. Anything you memorize new is called sabaq. Some people call it new lesson, like in English. Some people call it dars jadid in Arabic, or jadid, whichever one you call it. I will explain sabaq in detail in a few minutes, inshallah. Number 2 Number two, the one in the blue box, is called sabaq para. Sabaq para is what you give. So, for example, imagine a boy, or imagine a brother, Abdullah, is memorized, say, half of Juz 30. Yeah. So his sabaq, say, imagine, is on Surah Balad. Yeah. Surah Balad is his sabaq. Whatever he's memorized so far from Juz 30 is his sabaq para. So from maybe Surah Naba to Surah Fajr is his sabaq para. Okay, is his previous sabaq. Is the sabaq he gave in the previous couple of days. You'll have to give that as well. Not all of the sabaq para. You can call it previous sabaq. Some people call it muraja'a jadid in Arabic. Some people call it qareeb. Whatever you call it, however you're familiarized with. Okay, we will call it sabaq para. If you want to call it previous sabaq, it's fine. And the third one is revision. Anything you memorize, like imagine someone has memorized 5 ajza. Okay, these 5 ajza, these 5 parts of the Quran are your revision. Now I'm going to give you some tips regarding each one. So like I did mention, you try to take some notes, inshallah. So what is sabaq? Sabaq is the most important thing of your Hifdh career. Your Hifdh journey, the most important thing is sabaq. Hence why I put a foundation of a building picture on the slide. Sabaq is the foundation of everything. It's like the construction of a building. If the foundation of the building is strong, then the building, when you do make the building, it will be strong. If the foundation is weak, it doesn't matter how strong the building is, the building could easily collapse. So sabaq is very, very important. If your sabaq is weak, it will have a knock-on effect throughout your Hifdh journey. Your sabaq para will become weak. Your revision will become weak. So don't rush in learning sabaq. I always tell my Hifdh students, so alhamdulillah, I've been teaching Hifdh for over 5 years. I teach Hifdh in a Islamic secondary school in the morning, and I teach Hifdh in a madrasa, in a masjid in the evening. I tell them all the time that if you rush in learning sabaq, if you do sabaq fast, if you learn sabaq fast, you will forget it very fast as well. If you learn sabaq quickly, you will forget it quickly as well. Let's slightly dive into how learning works in the mind. Okay. I'm not a specialist of the mind, but I did do some studies regarding memorization. So when we learn something, the first time we learn something, it goes through our sensory organs, not our 5 senses. So just say, for example, you're sitting there and you see, for example, you see a picture of something, like you saw a picture of this. The first time you saw it, it goes through our sensory organs, like this senses you even through your eyes, yeah? Then it goes to something called the sensory memory. Now, as you've been looking at this slide for long, it's already gone past your sensory memory. The first time you looked at the slide, the first glance you looked at the slide, you went into your sensory organs to your sensory memory. Now, in the sensory memory, it'll only stay in the sensory memory for maybe a second. We have to keep reciting this verse many times, and take it from our sensory memory to something called the short-term memory. I will speak about the short-term memory in a few slides again. Short-term memory, we have to keep reciting. Short-term memory lasts in our brain for maybe 1 or 2 days. So that's not good enough for us. We have to keep reading and reading something until it comes to something called the long-term memory. So write this down. We have to take our sabaq on this journey through the sensory organs, to the sensory memory, to the short memory, until the long-term memory. We need to take each and every sabaq of ours to the long-term memory. The long-term memory is something that we will retain, we will remember in our head for at least weeks, if not months or years. Okay? So remember that, okay? We have to take our sabaq and everything we memorize to our long-term memory. To take you to the long-term memory, it won't happen overnight. Okay? You have to read lots and lots. Okay? You have to read lots. We will give some tips on sabaq in the upcoming slides, inshallah. Now, what is sabaq para? Sabaq para, the previous, what is the purpose of sabaq para? Why do we give sabaq para? The reason why we give sabaq para, which is the previous sabaq. So imagine someone is giving sabaq para on Friday, and he's practically giving sabaq para of what he gave to the teacher on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday as sabaq. He's giving that again to the teacher on Friday, all together. Now, what is the purpose of previous sabaq? Why do we give sabaq para, the blue section? Because if you had made any mistakes in sabaq, you can rectify. Imagine someone made some mistakes in sabaq. When they get to sabaq para, they can rectify these mistakes. Another thing is, imagine someone's been giving 5 lines every day. On Friday, your sabaq para will be 5 times 4, because you gave the 4 days of previous sabaq. When you give sabaq para on Friday, you'll be giving all 20 lines. You'll be merging your sabaqs up. Because previously you knew each sabaq, you knew Monday sabaq separately, you knew Tuesday sabaq separately, you knew Wednesday sabaq separately, and Thursday sabaq separately. On Friday, you're going to merge all of them up together. You're going to merge all the sabaqs up together and recite them all together with those stars. So it's like you're gluing sabaqs together. So sabaq para is basically gluing the sabaqs together. Okay, like you make a building, you put one brick and cement, then another brick. So sabaq is like the bricks. So para is just like the cement, is gluing all the bricks together. And revision is very, very important. Okay, revision is very important. Some call it dawr, some call it muraja'a, qadim, some call it ba'id. Some people in like Persian word is called amukta, or some people from the Asian countries they call it amukta. Revision is very important. Revision is what we need to make sure we always keep strong. We can never get complacent. Imagine you've memorized just 30 and you're like, oh, I know just 30 so much, like so good, I know it better than my name. No, never get complacent, because it can go very fast as well. As soon as you let go of it, it will run away. Yes, I will give more tips on sabaq, para, and revision. If anyone has any questions on this slide, you can ask. So sabaq is something you do new. Remember I said it's the foundation. Make sure it's as strong as possible. Take sabaq all the way to your long-term memory. When you memorize something, when you learn something, remember it goes to the sensory organs and to the sensory memory. Sensory memory you keep in your memory for about a second, then to the short-term memory, to the long-term memory. So we're going to take all our sabaqs to the long-term memory, inshallah. So para is just gluing our sabaqs together, and revision is just revising over whatever we know. And this is a very important slide. A person, if you look at the green on the top, a person who has excellent sabaq, his sabaq or her sabaq is very strong, then the previous sabaq will be very strong. The juz will be very strong. The revision will be very strong. And in essence, the person will be an excellent hafidh or excellent hafidha. He'll know the Quran very strong. He'll be true protectors of the Quran. If someone learns the sabaq very weak, the previous sabaq will be weak. The juz will be weak. The weak and the revision will be weak. And you will become a weak hafidh and hafidha. So sabaq starts all from sabaq. Sabaq is strong, it'll have a knock-on effect. Everything will be strong. Sabaq is weak, then everything will be weak. Now this slide is a slide of revision, the revision strength. There's different pictures of vases. In the first one, excellent revision is like a vase which has no cracks. It looks nice as a display. The only thing you need to do if you keep a vase in your house is often, regularly, you just need to polish it. A person whose revision is very strong, what they have to do is often they just have to keep polishing and reading it often. A person with average revision, with medium revision, is like a vase with cracks. You have to be very careful with a vase with cracks, because if you're not careful, there's a possibility it could break. Just like that, if your revision is average, yes, you have to be very careful. Recite it as much as you can. Fix it as soon as you can before it becomes a weak revision. Fix the vase as soon as you can before the vase breaks. Because when it breaks, it will be ultra difficult for you to fix it. When it's just cracked, it's not as hard as fixing it compared to fixing a broken vase. Likewise, if your revision is average, it's easier to fix it than to fix a weak revision. And a broken vase, like a weak revision, can only be fixed. A broken vase can only be fixed by a specialist, by a professional. For someone who goes into a weak revision, you will need to meet a special teacher, or you need to give special attention to the Quran. You need to maybe rememorize the full Quran again as sabaq. So try your best to keep your revision in the first section as an excellent revision. Remember the strong vase. Okay, we don't want cracks in our vase. We don't want to have a broken vase. Which brings us to this amazing hadith. Why is revision so important? Abu Musa al-Ash'ari radiallahu anh says that the Prophet said, keep on reciting the Quran, for by him in whose hand my life is, the Quran runs away, meaning it is forgotten faster than camels that are released from their lead ropes. Now you are imagine you're holding onto the rope of a camel. As soon as you let go of the rope, the camel will run away. Likewise, you hold on to the Quran. As soon as you let go of it, you let go of the Quran will run away. Alhamdulillah, I've been Hafidh for 15 years now. And I can tell you, okay, that it is much harder to retain my revision than to memorize the Quran. To memorize the Quran is not so difficult, but to remember the Quran after memorizing it, it is very, very difficult. For 15 years, it's been a struggle. It's very difficult compared to memorizing the Quran. So never get complacent in revision, okay? Whatever you memorize, make sure you know it very, very strong. Now, any questions before we move on to the next slide? We're almost finishing. We should finish our training within just a few more slides left, maybe another 3-4 more slides left, inshallah. Any questions till now? If not, you can leave it for the question and answer session. Now, some extra tips and advice that I can give to all students. The first one is rectify intentions. We need to rectify our intention. Okay, why are we memorizing the Quran? The Prophet ﷺ said, "Innamal a'malu binniyat." The actions are judged according to our intentions. That why are you memorizing the Quran? Are you memorizing it to show off? Are you memorizing it to seek boast and praise from people? No. Your intention should be to seek the happiness, to seek pleasure from only Allah. You should only do good deeds only to make Allah happy. There was a scholar who said, some great actions are destroyed by a wrong intention. Some people do great actions, right? They give so much to charity, but wrong intention, they don't get no reward. And some people, yes, they do a small action, but because of a good intention, it's made into a great action. Someone might give only 50p to charity, but they gave it with a good intention. They will get more reward than someone who gave thousands to charity just to show off. So when you memorize the Quran, only do it to please Allah. The intention is to preserve the Quran so you can go and teach it to others. Point number 2 is make sacrifice. You need to make sacrifice. This journey is not easy. Without sacrifice, it will be very, very difficult. We have it very easy. The people of the past, just to memorize the Quran or memorize one hadith, they had to travel miles and miles. They had to leave the city to go to another city just to learn one hadith. Some scholars of the past would have to travel for 1 or 2 months to go and memorize one hadith. In our time, knowledge can be accessed with the of a finger, one button away. Like now, you just joined this Zoom session, one button on Zoom, and you join. For people of the past, they would have to travel and travel far and far away just to go learn one thing. It's much more easier for us. Knowledge is accessible everywhere. Okay, we have to be grateful for this. Say Alhamdulillah and make sacrifice. How can we make sacrifice? Yes, we have to sacrifice maybe our sleep. If you're sleeping 7 hours a day, and when you start your hifdh, maybe cut down by 30 minutes, 6.5 hours a day. Okay, maybe sacrifice your screen time. If there's some apps that are disturbing you throughout the day, social media, maybe sacrifice that. Take that sacrifice that, oh Allah, I'm not going to use social media on the weekdays. I'll use on the weekend. Or sacrifice it fully. Allah loves sacrifice, and He'll open the doors up. I was speaking to my student just today in the evening, just a few hours before we started this session, that he was finding it very difficult to read the Quran. He's in year 10 or year 11, I believe, that he's got his mocks and DCs coming up. He was finding it very difficult. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, this week, when he gave sabaq to me, he only gave 5 or 6 lines. I told him, go make sacrifice. So I told him yesterday to make sacrifice in the evening. So yesterday evening, he made some sacrifice and he only read for 10, 15 minutes. And I said, Wallahi, today he gave 21 lines sabaq. And I told him, look, that was just done by you. You made that sacrifice and Allah opened the doors for you. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, he could only give 7, 8 lines. Today, because he made the sacrifice last night, Allah opened the doors up and he gave 21 lines. And I was amazed. And he was amazed as well. I told him, make sacrifice. It was only 10, 15 minutes. 10, 15 minutes where he would be watching TV or something on his phone. He sacrificed that to memorize and Allah opened the doors for him. So make some sacrifice. I always tell my students that hard work always beats talent. Remember that you can be very knowledgeable, you can be very intelligent, you can probably memorize quickly sabaq, but remember, hard work always beats talent. Always work hard. Okay, even if it means to sacrifice some time with friends. If your friends go out maybe every week, you can tell them that, look, I've started this journey. I need you lot to support me. I need you lot to help me and understand that I would be very busy over the weekdays. So maybe I can spend time with you in the weekend. Let your family know. You need everyone's support. Number 3, very important, is reduce other commitments. If you're taking other courses with this course, it will be very difficult. If you have too many commitments, yes, you're doing this course, you're doing another course, you're doing other courses, then maybe cut it down. Okay, you would rather give 100% to this course than to give 25% to 4 courses. You understand? So try to give as much as time you can to the Quran. It will not be easy, it will be difficult, it takes time, patience, effort, but Allah will make it easy for someone who makes sacrifice, who tries the best. Allah will do the rest. We try our best and Allah will do the rest for us, inshallah. Number 4, very important, is follow a strict timetable. Sleep on time, study on time. Okay, nothing should change your routine. Okay, utilize every minute. We have so much time. The people of the past had less time than us. We have much more time than them. How? We have all these appliances that make life easy for us. The people of the past, just to make a cup of tea, it would take them 20, 30 minutes. How long did it take us? 1 minute. We turn the kettle on, we put the tea bag, our tea is ready. The people of the past would have to go find clean water, bring it, put it in the pot, clean the pot, find some firewood, light the fire up, then put the pot, heat the water up, go find some milk, maybe milk a cow. It was very difficult for them. We want to wash our clothes, we put in the washing machine, done. Just to wash the clothes, they had to go to the nearby lake, wash it physically by hand, dry it, squeeze it, bring it. All the time, the spending, we save all the time. Cooking and everything. If we're hungry and we can't cook, we can just order some food. See, we have so much more time than them. But how is it that they utilize their time more than us? You know why? They had something called barakah in the time. They had blessings in the time because they would recite as much Quran as much as they can throughout the day. We need to do that. Remember, we have much more time than the people of the past. How are the people of the past? How are they reciting one full Quran every single day in Ramadan? How are they memorizing the Quran within 1 or 2 months? Okay, we should be able to do the same because we have all these appliances that can save our time. And another point is, remember, the Quran is for yourself and not for your shelf. Don't just use it for class. Don't think that Monday to Friday I'm going to come class and memorize the Quran and I'll become a Hafidh or Hafidha. No, it won't work like that. You have to spend some time through the evening, through the weekend. So remember, the Quran is for yourself, not for your shelf. Don't just leave it on the shelf and class and bring it out and put it back on the shelf. No, Quran is for yourself and not for your shelf. But point number 5 is always recite with tajweed without rushing through your recitation. Remember, tajweed is very, very important. Always recite with tajweed throughout your memorization. The next part, advice regarding sabaq. We don't have much more left, just another 3 more slides left, and we should be finished, inshallah. We should get wrapped by 9 p.m. Apologies if I'm going slightly fast. I didn't keep track of time. We will give the recording out to everyone, inshallah. Some advice regarding learning sabaq. Try to learn your sabaq early morning. Now, memorize overnight. So overnight, memorize the sabaq, learn it to the best of your ability, and strengthen it early in the morning. Yeah, before the lesson, maybe after Fajr or slightly before Fajr, wake up for tahajjud, make dua, and strengthen the sabaq. Best time to memorize. Your brain is fresh. Your brain will be like a sponge. It will absorb everything. Yeah? Early morning, your brain is like a sponge. It'll absorb everything. If you try to memorize everything in the evening, it'll be difficult because you've had school, you've had work, you've had university, you had chores, you had this commitment. It'll be very difficult. Your brain will be tired. Second point is, read over it many times, looking inside the night before. Yeah, it helps a lot. Part of our syllabus is we're going to make you recite the just looking inside many times. Okay, so imagine you're doing the first page of the first juz. Whilst you're doing that, whilst you're memorizing that, you'll be also practicing the first page, looking inside of another juz, just to keep up. So when you finish the first juz, when you move on to the second juz, you already know how to read the second juz. But if you can read it fluently, it's much more easier to memorize. If you can't read it fluently, then you have to learn how to read it fluently first, then you can memorize. Point number 3 is learn the weekly portion over the weekend. Saturday, Sunday, I assume most people will have plenty of free time. Try to memorize 5 days worth of sabaq over Saturday, Sunday. So imagine this, just say this Saturday, Sunday coming up, you have to memorize what you're going to read to Ustad or Ustada in the next week, Monday to Friday. You don't have to memorize it to a very strong level. Even if you know it 50%, then on Monday it'll be much easier for you because you learned it on Saturday and Sunday. Tuesday sabaq will be much easier because you learned on Saturday, Sunday, and so forth. And number 4 is a very important one. Make lots of dua every single day. Tell Allah, oh Allah, open my mind and my heart to the Quran. Oh Allah, make it easy for me to memorize your words. Make lots and lots of dua as much as you can, and recite this dua abundantly. Rabbi zidni ilma. This is the dua for increase of knowledge as much as you can throughout your day. Rabbi zidni ilma, Rabbi zidni ilma, Rabbi zidni ilma, as much as you can. Advice regarding revision: never get complacent with revision. Remember that with revision, this is very important. This is something I try to do as much as I can. Read your revision in your daily salah. don't just recite the small surahs from just 30, like Surah Fil, Surah Nas, Surah Falaq, Surah Kawthar. Don't recite the easy surahs. Whatever you memorize, start reciting it. If you know Surah Naba, start reciting in your salah. You don't have to read it in one rak'ah. You can recite 5-6 lines in the first rak'ah. So whatever you know, imagine you know full just 30 and just 29. In your salah, you should recite a bit of it every single day, and do some revision over your salah of the 2 ajza you've memorized. Point number 3 is, if you're struggling with revision, then give less sabaq. Okay? If you're struggling with revision, then memorize less. If you're still struggling, stop sabaq. Usada will make you stop sabaq and just focus on revision. Point number 4 is, your daily revision should be a minimum of 5 sabaq. So if you're giving 1 side a day, your revision should be at least 5 sides. It's not right that you give 1 side sabaq a day and you're giving 2 sides revision, because then you won't be able to revise your revision thoroughly enough. You have to give at least 5 times more revision than sabaq. Moves us on to, I did miss that slide out of 7. Quickly, we'll go over this. The power of 7. Why is 7 so special in Islam and in the Quran? 7 is a special number used in Islam and the Quran many times. Okay, if you look, for example, Allah says in Surah Hijr, Allah says, وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَاكَ سَبْعًا مِنَ الْمَثَانِي وَالْقُرْآنِ الْعَظِيمِ. Allah says, we have given you 7. Okay, 7 verses that are repeated many times. Allah is referring to Surah Fatiha. If you look on the left side, nature, the 7 layers of Earth's atmosphere, the 7 layers of Earth's crust, 7 days of the week, 7 continents, 7 colors in the rainbow, 7 wonders of the world, 7 digits. There was a theorist, okay, who said that if you read something 7 times, it comes to your short-term memory. Remember, we spoke about short-term memory and long-term memory. If you read something 7 times, it'll come to your short-term memory. So try to read something at least 7, 14, 21 times for you to take it to your long-term memory. Islam, 7 again, 7 rounds of tawaf. When we go to Hajj or Umrah, we go around the Kaaba 7 times, 7 rounds of sa'i, 7 words in kalima tayyiba, la ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. 7th day of aqiqah. When someone is born, when a baby is born, we do aqiqah on the 7th day. At the age of 7, we are told to get our children to start salah. 7 people who will be under the shade of the throne of Allah on the day of judgment. In Quran, many times the word 7 comes. Okay, Allah says 7 heavens, 7 earths, and many things. The 7 manzils of the Quran, the Sahaba would finish the Quran in 7 days. They would read 1 manzil a day. Okay, we quickly went over that. So the power of 7, read the sabaq. When you're memorizing, read a verse at least 7 times for you to bring it to your short-term memory, and maybe another 7 times. Okay, and try to do at least 21 times each verse or each line to bring it to your long-term memory. For those who are joining in now and you missed about the long-term, short-term memory, you can watch the recording, inshallah, and catch up. We just have another 1 or 2 more slides left. This is very important, how to mark your mistakes. Okay, you will make mistakes whilst you're memorizing. It happens to everyone. No one is perfect. Everyone still makes mistakes. I've memorized the Quran for 15 years. I still make mistakes now. How do you mark your mistakes? Number 1, underline or circle your mistakes. As you see in the page provided, the word wahuwa is underlined because you made that mistake. Remember, the teacher can't mark your mistakes, so you have to be marking your mistakes. You have to mark your mistakes. So when you do revision of it, you can rectify your mistakes. If the mistake happens again, point number 2, then maybe put an X on the circle. As you can see, the word liyabluwakum, it's already got a blue circle because you made that mistake once. If you make that mistake again, then put a cross on that circle as well. Number 3 is very important. Put a cross on the border next to the line of your mistake. Now, if you made a mistake on the second line, and on the border of the second line, put a cross there. So when you come to this page, you know, I've got 5 crosses on this page. I've got 5 mistakes. I have to fix these mistakes up now. Number 4, if the mistake was a haraka, so imagine in the, like he says, Rahmani there. If you said Rahmanu and you made that mistake, then circle the haraka, so you know that the mistake was the haraka. And number 5 is very, very important. Reference your Mushabihaat. Mushabihaat are similar verses. The Quran is filled with Mushabihaat. The Quran is filled with similar verses. If you get confused with a similar verse, then reference it. Okay, so just imagine you are getting confused with a verse. We will be speaking about this in our next slide. What is a mushabih? What is a similar verse? If you look at the two Quran parts there, in Surah Baqarah, there's 2 verses that are very same. If you look at the verse, look, it says, one verse is وَاتَّقُوا يَوْمًا لَا تَجْزِي نَفْسٌ عَنْ نَفْسٍ شَيْئًا وَلَا يُقْبَلُ مِنْهَا شَفَاعَةٌ وَلَا يُؤْخَذُ مِنْهَا عَدْلٌ وَلَا يُنصَرُونَ. In the second verse, again, it starts as وَاتَّقُوا يَوْمَ لَا تَجْزِي, but in the middle, it's slightly different. In the first one is وَلَا يُقَبَلُ مِنْهَا شَفَاعَةٌ وَلَا يُؤْخَذُ مِنْهَا عَدْلٌ. In the second one is وَلَا يُقَبَلُ مِنْهَا عَدْلٌ وَلَا تَنفَعُهَا شَفَاعَةٌ. Slightly different, right? So if you come across similar verses, you need to reference them. Like we have reference on the bottom, it says 14:3. That means Surah 14, verse number 3. So reference your similar verses so you don't get muddled up. Now, any verses that are similar, you have to keep your mind alert. Because sometimes you can jump. You can jump from one verse to another verse that you might be reciting. It happens to me. Sometimes I'm reciting, say, Juz 9, and I'm reciting, and I end up in Juz 16, then I'm moved to Juz 20, and I'm just moving everywhere. It happens because you can't keep track of the verses because there's many similar verses in the Quran. So work out the difference, okay? Work out the difference and try to remember how the difference are. And so you know exactly which part has this and which part has that, inshallah. So remember, this is called Mushabih, similar verses. You need to mark them down, okay? So for example, in this one, in Surah Baqarah, the first one on the right-hand side is verse 48. The second one is 123. So next to the verse 48 one, I will write 2, as in 2 is Surah Baqarah. Surah Baqarah, the second verse, I write 2-123. And in the second page, I'll write 2-48 because 123, sorry, is similar to verse 48. Yeah, your teachers will give you more guidance in this, inshallah. This is very important. Focus on your average. Now, it could be someone on Monday they gave 4 lines. On Tuesday they gave 5 lines. On Wednesday they gave 6 lines. Thursday they gave 12 lines. Friday they gave 18 lines. And on Friday they're so happy I gave 18 lines. I'm so happy. But no, if you divide all these lines up by 5 days, 45 lines divided by 5 days is as if the average is you only gave 9 lines a day. So try to be consistent, okay? Don't give 1 line one day and the next day you give 20 lines. Try to fix to one same line amount of lines throughout. Okay, don't get too happy if you give 18 lines one day, because it could be that the next 2 days you give 2 lines, then your average is you've only given 22 lines in 3 days, which is not too much. So don't get too excited over one day. Do your weekly average Monday to Friday divided by 5 to see how much you've done. Quality over quantity at all times. Remember, quality is more important than quantity. Don't compromise your quality for quantity. We're not going to go over these slides as time won't allow us. It's not really important, these slides. Okay, we're on our last 3 slides. We have 3 more slides left, inshallah. Reasons why people fail in Hifdh. Okay, why do people fail in Hifdh? Some reasons why I've mentioned. Sometimes people, it becomes a pressure load. It becomes too much to handle. You take on too many commitments. You've taken on this course, you've taken on that course. Too many things going on at the same time, then you give up. Okay, so give 100% to memorizing the Quran. Any other courses that are becoming distractions, just give it a pause. You can carry on them later. Misjudgment. Some people think that Hifdh is very easy. I can just recite in class and I'll become a Hafidh. No, it's not that easy. Hifdh is not walk in the park. It's not so easy. You have to give time, sacrifice, effort. There will be times that you'll have less sleep. There will be times that you'll forget to eat. Sometimes when I was memorizing, I forgot to eat. I forgot that I never had lunch. It's like that. You have to be so dedicated that you sometimes forget to eat, forget to sleep, and you forget what time it is. So that's how a Hifdh student should be. You shouldn't have a watch in front of you that I'm only 45 minutes. No, keep reading until you know it. It's like you keep eating until you're full, keep reading until you know it. Don't keep a watch or clock in front of you. When I used to memorize my sabaq, I never used to keep a watch in front of me because I know if it's been 1 hour, I'll feel like, oh, I need a break now. No, I'll keep reciting until I think I'm ready. Sometimes I check the time, it's been 2 hours, sometimes it'll be 3 hours. Point number 3 is relaxed environment. Those around you, you need the help. You need to let your family know that give me some support. Let your friends know, give me some support. If you're married, tell your wife, look, you know what, through the weekday in the evenings, okay, I need some time off. Okay, I need to go in a room and recite. And you look after the kids for an hour. I need to give time to this. If your friends keep telling you, let's go outside, let's do this, you just let them know that you need to support me, okay? Monday to Friday, don't message me much, don't call me much. I need to focus on this. Okay, so get support from your family, friends. Don't let them make it into a relaxed environment that no one is giving you the space to memorize. Everyone's in every room making noise. Everyone should know that you're memorizing. You should have a room to yourself where you can memorize. If it's difficult for you, go to the masjid. Sisters, you can look for a space to memorize. If it's difficult, if your local masjid make arrangements, then go to the masjid to memorize. Okay. Another one is some people get discouraged. Some people, the family end up discouraging. They say that, oh, you can't do it. Oh, this and that. Why are you doing this? No. Tell your family from now the goals you want to do it, why you want to do it. Tell your mom, tell your dad, tell your friends, your wife, your brothers, sisters, everyone. That look, I'm doing this. I want you to support me. I will have hard times. I will have some low days. I will have some bad times. I want you to keep pulling me up. You need support from everyone. Remember, this journey is not always so easy that you find it very, very easy. Sometimes you'll have hard days. Okay. Remember the virtues and all the good things that a Hafidh will get and a Hafidha will get, and that would keep pushing you. That will drive you throughout. Some people lose interest. Yeah. And the person and the one that makes you lose interest is Shaitan. Shaitan will try his best to stop you from memorizing the Quran, because if he stops you from memorizing the Quran, he has stopped the entire nation. Imagine you become a Hafidha. Inshallah, you'll go to teach another 5 people. These 5 people will teach another 5 people. That's 25. These 25 people will teach another 5 people. That's 125. He's just going to keep going. If Shaitan can stop one person, he can stop the entire nation. So Shaitan will try his best to stop you. Believe it or not, wallahi, when I was memorizing the Quran, there were some students who left memorizing the Quran after 25 ajza. I was thinking, what is he doing? He memorized 25. Why is he leaving? It's because maybe Shaitan overpowered him. Shaitan will come and he will sit on the path of this journey. He will try to stop you. There was a time when I was memorizing the Quran. Like I said, I only had Surah Baqarah left. I only had 2 ajza left. And I told my teacher that I want to leave now. I want to go and finish up at home. He said, no, you're not. Okay, this is Shaitan. He's trying to play mind games with you, trick you. He will try to make you lose interest. He will try to say you're a failure, you can't do it. He will try to say, you know what, you're doing too well, maybe take a gap here. No, don't listen. Always try your best. Keep pushing, keep pushing. And remember, we all have bad days. Just because you had a bad day on Monday doesn't mean you give up. You can have a bad week, it's fine. Keep going, keep trying, keep making lots of effort. And the last one is committing sins. If you commit sins, becoming a Hafidh will be very difficult for you. One beautiful poem by Imam Shafi'i. Imam Shafi'i says, I complained to my teacher, 𝙗, that, about my poor memory. And what did his teacher say? He advised him to give up sins. Imam Shafi'i, a famous scholar, a jurist, he has a madhab as well, the Shafi'i madhab. He said he complained to his teacher, 𝙗, regarding poor memory. And his teacher, what did his teacher say? That he advised him to give up sins, and he informed him that knowledge is light and the light of Allah is not bestowed upon sinners. And the next line is qualities of a good student. Remember, always be sincere, have respect, make lots and lots of effort. When you're reciting the Quran, treat it with respect. Always hold it with your right hand, close to your chest. Sit in a dignified manner. Sit in a clean and pure place. Remember that. Okay? Always be sincere. Don't do it to gain fame, or you're going to become a Hafidh and people are going to talk about you. No. Don't do it for anything else than just to please Allah. Make lots and lots of effort. Look for excuses to read the Quran. Don't make excuses not to read the Quran. Remember, excuses always have a solution. You are in charge of this excuse. Okay, you either can find a solution or you can make an excuse up and feel good about it. Okay, remember that excuses are all done in the mind. We have to find solutions. Keep trying, keep making effort. Apologies that I went over time, and apologies for the speed. We have 2 more slides left, 3 more slides. Sorry, I will zoom through them, inshallah. Tips for learning and remembering: read a minimum of 1 juz looking in every single day. For those brothers and sisters, if you need to leave, you can leave. You'll get the recording, which should be done, inshallah, within the next 5 minutes. So read a minimum of 1 juz looking inside every day, pointing with the finger and fully focusing on the text. Remember, try to look in and read. Try to listen to half a juz every single day. The Prophet couldn't read or recite. He couldn't read or read Arabic. He couldn't recite the Quran, but he learned the full Quran by listening to Angel Jibreel alayhi salam. Recite a portion of your Quran in your salah every single day. Try to read to someone before you read to Ustad and Usada. So before you give your sabaq or your revision, try to read to a family member or someone. If they take mistakes out, fix the mistake before you read to your teacher, and fix a schedule and stay away from sin. Remember, try to do multiple types of reading every single day. Like, for example, what I try to do is like today is the 25th of March. So whichever day is, I try to memorize. I try to revise that juz. So today I'm revising juz 25. On my way to work, I listen to it in my car. Okay. If I'm walking or traveling, I try to recite it whilst I'm traveling. In my salah, I will try to recite it in my salah. If I do my looking in and reading today, I'll recite it looking inside. Try to do multiple forms of revision. Classroom rules, very important. Punctuality and attendance is very important. Please message the night before to the teacher that you will be missing. Only miss with a valid excuse. Please do not try to miss without a valid excuse. Okay, every single day is very, very important. Okay. You might think, oh, I'm missing one day, it's only 5 lines. If you miss one day every week, you're going to end up missing 20 lines, and end up missing 6 hours a month. Try to come on time every single day throughout your Hifdh journey. You can leave early if you have completed everything you've read to the teacher, as long as the teacher has given you permission. However, you are advised to stay till the end. If you have a valid reason and you need to leave early, just let the teacher know. If you read everything and the teacher lets you, you can leave. Next point is very important. You need to join with your name. Okay, so we don't have any hackers joining or anything. Please don't share the links with anyone. This is an amana. This is a cost given to you. The link shouldn't be given to anyone else besides yourself. Please don't give it to anyone else. We don't want anyone else joining. We don't want no hackers or anything. And students are advised to sit a meter away from the screen and have your videos on. Classes won't be recorded, brothers and sisters, so don't worry. We want the teachers have to see your face when you are reading. When you are practicing, it's fine, you can turn your video off. When you're reading to the teacher, you have to have your video on, and you have to be sitting 1 meter away from the screen. Just because sometimes Shaitan can let us know, Shaitan can trick us and tell us, just look at the screen and read from your mushaf or read from the screen. So we want brothers and sisters not to fall into that trap. So we advise everyone to sit 1 meter away from the screen when you are reciting to the teacher. All participants will be muted upon entry. You can ask to read on the chat option. When your turn comes, you will be unmuted. We advise all students to prepare before coming to class. Some general advice, the last slide: try to eat healthy food. Unhealthy food and excessive food could lead to laziness. Very important. Don't eat too much, because too much food can make you lazy, and that can make you not memorize much. Plenty of rest, as your brain will need to function properly. If you are tired, it won't function properly. Try to remain clean at all times, because you're touching the Qur'an. Remember, the Qur'an is an amazing blessing. Anything the Qur'an touches or links to becomes the best. Ramadan is the best month because the Qur'an was revealed on this month. Laylatul Qadr is the best night because the Qur'an was revealed on this night. The Prophet ﷺ is the best prophet because he was given the Qur'an. Angel Jibril is the best angel because he gave the Qur'an from Allah to the Prophet. Do not miss any Fard Salah. Be steadfast in your Sunnah and Nawafil Salah. Choose good friends, because evil and bad friends will tell you that you can't do it, or will try to keep disturbing you, and make dua every single day. Again, apologies for taking extra 10 minutes. I do sincerely apologize. You forgive me, I didn't keep track of the time. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask on the chat option. I know the last few slides I had to zoom through it. The recording will be given to brothers and sisters, inshallah. Any questions, or we should wrap it up, inshallah? Sisters, like I mentioned, you will be having a one-to-one session with the teachers before you start, inshallah, mid-Ramadan, a 10-minute small meeting over Zoom with your teacher, inshallah. They will speak about the course a bit more in detail. You can ask questions, they will listen to your recitation, your tajweed and everything, inshallah. So that will be arranged very soon. Someone asked, is the fee monthly or annually? Monthly is fine. If you want to pay a few months advance, that's completely fine, but you can pay monthly as well. If someone wants to pay 5-6 months in one go, it's fine. We don't mind, inshallah. However, it's easy for you. If you are struggling to pay fees in 1 month and you want to pay double fee in the next month, that's fine as well. Do let us know, inshallah. Any questions or anything regarding the course, regarding the training? I hope this was beneficial for you. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين. May Allah allow us to become the people of the Quran, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow everyone to memorize the Quran very easily. May He take you through this beautiful journey with ease. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. We leave it today, inshallah. Sister asked, can we keep our niqab on during the classes, please? Yes, that's completely fine. You can keep your niqab on. Another brother asked, how do we keep up with the revision that we have already whilst concentrating on other new just anyone who joins, a brother asked, anyone who has, before the sister asked regarding niqab, you can keep your niqab on in class, it's completely fine. A brother asked, if you memorize something from beforehand, we will make you do revision of these _ajza before you memorize anything new, and we will help you through that, inshallah. So don't worry, brother, we will help you through that, inshallah. You will have to do revision of that thoroughly until you know it well before you move on to sabaq. Brother asked, how many students per class? Per class there will be 8 students, inshallah. In the beginning there will be 8 students. If we feel like 8 students is too much, we will cut it down, but 8 students should be enough, should be okay, inshallah. As most of our Hifdh classes we have more than 8, we have 13, 14, but 8 should be enough, inshallah. Anyone have any questions? Any other questions regarding the slides or anything, or any questions regarding our course? If not, then Jazakumullah khairan for joining. We really appreciate you staying on with us throughout. Again, apologies for really sorry that we went over time. Brother asked, is there space for female to join? I believe we are completely full. However, you can message 07402088990. I've sent it to you on the chat option. Brother Safwan, if you can just message this number. If we have any spaces, I will let you know by tonight, inshallah. Okay. I don't want to keep anyone for any longer, as you've already given your a lot of time on Friday evening. Jazakallah khairan. May Allah reward everyone immensely. Ameen. Ya Rabbal Alameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.